Banky special.
Yeah.
Pure deliciousness.
Pure deliciousness, man. My name is Banky, man. Everybody calls me Banky. That's the name that I got from my grandmother when I was young. I'm coming out here after 30 years. Yeah, I ain't got nothing, but I'm gonna have something because I'm rich in personality, you know, and I'm rich in love. My family love me, and that's really all that counts. Shout out to everybody out there on Team Banky Pound. Appreciate the love. Appreciate the support. We rolling, man. We in these 33 years of prison stories. I hope y'all enjoying these stories. I hope y'all sharing these stories. Hope y'all spreading this positive energy, because that's what we all about over here. We trying to get this positive energy out there. We trying to change some lives and save some lives. That's what we trying to do. So salute to everybody who support me, TBP. Salute everybody out there who hold me down, all my mods, my mighty mods. I appreciate the love. And today, don't forget, we on the road to 100K, man. We got to get busy, man. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. If you my friend, let's get it over here. We moving slow, but we moving. Slow motion is still motion, but we need a little bit more motion in the ocean, man. We trying to get to that 100K so we can get this message out there to the masses. With that being said, man, this morning, still kind of a little congested, so y'all bear with me, but I have been asked a lot about the visiting room, man. The visiting room, what we call the VI, the dance floor, the ballroom, whatever you want to call it. You know, there's a lot of names for the visiting room in prison. And, you know, it's always a great feeling, man, to go over there to the visiting room to see somebody who cared enough about you to come check you out. So, you know, that's always a beautiful thing. But with that being said, too, it's a double-edged sword, man, because you go through so much drama in that visiting room. And when I tell you drama, I mean drama. It's a lot of things I've seen in that visiting room. A lot of incidents, a lot of chaos, a lot of confusion, a lot of things popped off in that visiting room. A whole lot of things. Even from the beginning, you know, from the beginning of my sentence, man, my bit, I can remember some of the first things I remember in the visiting room was leaving Southampton Receiving and going to the Wall. And mind you, the Wall was the oldest prison in Virginia. So a lot of old heads was there. A lot of dudes that had already did 20, 30 years plus, you know. So, you know, they was old school. They did time like time was supposed to be done, you know, for the most part. And in that visiting room, trust and believe me, it goes down. It goes down in that visiting room, man. And I can remember, man, my mom coming to see me. And the visiting was different back then. Back then, when I was in the Wall, you could get visits like 3 days a week. I haven't seen that since the Wall. You know what I'm saying? After I left the Wall, that was over. It was always 2 days a week, Saturday and Sunday. And then, you know, as time went on, you know, decades later, they cut that down to just having one visit a week, according to how your last name, the alphabet, how your name ran in. If your name was a certain letter in the alphabet, you get Saturday. If it was another one to cut off, you get Sunday. Because, you know, they would claim that they was you know, understaffed and they couldn't, you know, supply and demand. They couldn't fit everybody in the visiting room because people was coming to see their loved ones. But in my opinion, they purposely did it because they didn't really promote the ties between you and your family to stay connected to the streets. So they, you know what I'm saying, they came up with this whole reasons why they couldn't do both visits or whatever. And then they started cutting the time limit. When I first went in, you could get visits all day. You can go in there and stay till when the visit open until the visit closed if your people was willing to stay that long. You know, and also, like I say, in the Wall, we had visits on Saturday, Sunday, and Wednesday night, right? And your people could bring food. They could actually bring food in the visiting room, food that they made from home. My mom used to bring that good old pure deliciousness. You know, that's where it came from. She used to bring that pure deliciousness, man. And it was crazy because my mom is such a kind-hearted person, you know. She used to bring enough food to feed, you know, a couple of people. And then all of these dudes in there, she would offer them food and stuff. And I would get so mad and upset because some of these people I didn't even know. But she didn't understand the politics and the dynamics of prison. So she just was being kind. But I was like, you know, why you giving these people food, or why you offering these people food? Why you even talking to them? I don't even talk to them. You know, and she was like, oh boy, just give them some food. Ooh. You know, old Mama Pound was just, you know, she just a sweetheart person like that. But yeah, it used to disturb me because it made them cats feel like they knew me. It made them cats feel familiar with my mother, and I won't have none of that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I can remember those days, man, clear as day. But also, I can also remember all the craziness that was going on in the visiting room back then, because I got visits at Southampton receiving, but it was different. You know, we was in receiving, you know, the visits was different. It was more, you know, controlled and monitored. Man, in the wall, they was off the chain in there, my brother. They was off the chain in there. You had dudes that had been locked up so long. Now, mind you, when you get a visit, most people, especially if you're getting a visit from your girl, you know, your main objective is to get some rubbing and some loving. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what you're missing. That's what's void. You know, you need that feminine touch. You need that smell of a woman, the softness of a woman, the kisses of a woman, the hugs, you know, the intimacy as much as you can get it. So that was the main objective for getting the visits, man. Dudes was, you know, they wanted to, you know, to touch their girl. They wanted to be touched by their girl. So, you know, it was going down in there, man. Dudes is plotting and scheming and trying to get in position to get some sneaky feels and rubs and even, you know, the whole 9 yards if they can get it. You know what I'm saying? That's how it was. So, man, I was learning at the time. So I'm green, so I'm learning and I'm observing and I'm seeing how things go down, you know. But at the same time, I'm nervous, you know, because if you get caught doing something inappropriate or something like that, then you lose your visits. And that's the one thing you don't want to do when you locked up, because that's your lifeline, you know. And especially if you know, in a relationship or a marriage, or you in love. And at the time I was, you know what I'm saying, I was married and I was, you know, madly in love. So I wanted to see my wife, you know what I'm saying. It was major to me. I wanted to see my mom. I wanted to see my family. So I didn't want to lose my visits. But at the same time, I'm just like any other red-blooded man, a male American. I wanted, you know, some loving and rubbing too, you know. So I watched and I observed, man. But it was crazy when my mom came, because I had to tell her and to prepare her for what she might see. And I told her, look, you got to see and don't see. You know, you got to just mind your business. Don't be staring at nobody. Don't be bringing no attention to nobody or nothing like that. I had to tell her these things because, like I say, in the wall in that visiting room, you might see anything. You know, I mean, anything. Some of the dudes been there so long that they actually had rapport with the officer that worked in the visiting room. So they may have paid them off. You know, they may have had their woman come up there with a $50 bill or $100 bill that she done snuck in and handed to the officer. And the next thing you know, they go up to the water fountain, which was right by the bathroom in the wall, which the bathroom was only accessible to the visitors, not us. We had to go in the back where we got strip search and stuff to use the bathroom, because they had to check us and all this stuff, make sure you ain't got no contraband, all this foolishness. So the bathroom was only accessible to them. But at the time, if you had a rapport with the CO, or you was somebody that they knew or whatever, you probably could finesse, and your girl get up and go in the bathroom, and you get up and go over there and slide in the bathroom with her for about 15 minutes which I can only imagine was just paradise for a dude that was locked up. That was, you know what I'm saying, that was paradise. I wasn't even in that position at the time because I'm a nobody. I'm just coming into prison, don't nobody know me, I ain't got no pull, you know, blase, blase. But man, it was going down. Dudes was sneaking in there, and the dudes that didn't have the money to sneak in there, they was, you know, trying to do what they was doing right at the table. Yeah, right at the table. Or they would get up and go to the machine and try to get other people to distract the officers, and then they would slide behind the vending machines and try to do their thing, man. It was a madhouse in there, you know. So when you got people coming in, like older people like your mom or your aunt or something like that, or your grandma, you got to prepare them because they may see some stuff, man, and make them feel like, what in the world is going on up in here, you know? Man, dudes was so innovative and creative back then. It was like things I never even seen before, because you got to remember too, now I'm in the wall, back then you could wear your own clothes in the visiting room, your own personal clothes. So, you know, later on that all changed too. They put us in scrubs and jumpsuits and all of this and all of that. You know, even to the end they put us in a whole zip-up jumpsuit, which was a whole full like jumpsuit that to make sure that you couldn't, you know, unzip your zipper or, you know, do anything, you know, kind of crazy. So, but back then you had your own clothes, your own personal jeans, your own personal shirts, your own shoes. Dudes was coming in there, you know. You got to think now, this is like in the late 80s, so you got dudes coming in there, man, with their Stacey Adams on, and their pants creased all up real sharp, and your little tight shirts on, man. It was crazy, man. It was like a scene from a 80s or 70s movies or something there, because you had some dudes that been locked up since the 60s, the 70s, and so on and so forth. So they still stuck, you know. They still late. They still thinking that bare bottoms is in style, and, you know, creases all down your pants, and man, it was just a scene to see, man. It's hard to explain. I'm trying to paint a picture where y'all can understand what your visual would be like, but it was like a throwback joke, man, and it was just wild. But you had these dudes that was creative, man. They trying to get their freak on or whatnot, and man, these dudes used to take the inseam of their pants, the inside of your thigh, how your pants come like this and go down or whatever. Man, they used to take, you know how you got the zipper that comes up and down. They used to take and put a zipper to go across the inseam of your pants, or either put Velcro on the inseam of your pants. Whereas they could easily pop the Velcro or unzip the zipper and you know, be exposed or, you know, be touched or whatever, you know. Yeah, this is the extreme the dudes was going through to try to, you know, curb their appetite for a woman, you know. And so when you in that visiting room, you got to keep that in mind, and you got to put your people on point. That they may be sitting there eating and talking with you or whatever, and look over and be like, oh my God, you know, no, you can't do that. Be quiet. Don't, you know, see it, don't see. Cause it was going down. And then I've been in visiting rooms, man. People get so bold. Man, women would just, you know, like, hey, get up and sit right on the dude's lap, which was a no-no, you know. But if they thought the officer won't looking, or somebody had the officer's attention, and even though it's all these other people in the room, man, they would get right up and sit right on their visitor, man, and boom, 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 get them a quickie. Just like that. And everybody else be looking at me like, what they doing? Yeah, that's what they doing. And that's what they doing, you know. And the wall was so unique with this type of behavior that it was like, it was almost expected, you know, but it was also, you know, against the rules. So it depended upon the officer that you had in there, what the penalty was going to be, whether if he see you or if he catch you, automatically they supposed to terminate your visit, sending people out, boom, 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 your visit going to get suspended, all this and all of that. You probably going to jail as well. But it didn't stop nobody, man. Everybody was still trying to do what they was trying to do, because this was a position that we was in. You see what I'm saying? So also at this time, man, you had some dudes that was so so slick with it, man. You know, entrepreneurial. They even had prostitutes coming up there to visit. And you had prostitutes coming in the visiting room and actually, you know, selling favors to visitors. Because back then you didn't have to have a visiting list. Anybody could just come up to see you. All they had to do is know your name and call you out. So this dude might facilitate a couple of prostitutes coming out there to call out Johnny, call out Billy, call out Bob, and the whole objective was to do what they can do. And that was it. Even if they got their visit suspended or even if they got their visit took, it didn't matter to them because that person won't gonna come see them no more anyway. It was a business deal. So man, listen, man, this stuff was crazy. When I tell you crazy, crazy. Yeah, crazy, man. Just straight craziness. Especially coming from the perspective of somebody that's on the street and they have never seen nothing like that. You know, it was crazy to me because I had never seen nothing like that. So once I started getting regular visits, man, I put my people on point to let them know what was going on, you know, what the situation was, what they might see. Don't panic. Don't get nervous. Don't draw attention to nobody. Because drawing attention to somebody else and getting them toe off, getting them caught, then you got a beef when you go back on the yard. You know what I'm saying? You got a beef as sure as grits as groceries. Somebody gonna want to see you about your people, you know, getting them toe off. So you had to put your people on point about what was going on, man. And yeah, it was a wild scene, man. It was a wild scene. And every time you go in there, you didn't know what you might see. You know, you didn't know what you might see. I've told y'all some stories or probably said a couple of things about different incidents that I've seen in the visiting room, but I just decided to make this video just about the visiting room because I've just seen so many things in there over the years and over the decades that I feel might be interesting to y'all. It might blow y'all mind, but I've got immune to it over the years. But yeah, it was crazy from the beginning. That was my introduction to the visiting room, introduction to what goes on in the visiting room. But then you got a lot of other dynamics that go along with it too, because even back then, man, the people would harass your people, man. They would, you know, want to script search some of them. They want to pet on them and feel on them. And people coming from the street is not, you know, adapt to that. They shouldn't really be subject to that, but they were. In order, that was the price to pay to come see somebody. And I always felt like, and I even furthered that belief as years and decades went on, that they did that with a purpose to deter you from coming to see your people, because they wanted to make the visit so uncomfortable that you didn't want to come no more. And if you don't come, that's less work for them. If people didn't visit their people in prison, then that time allotted for visits, all of those workers that's assigned to work in the visiting room, the upfront, the signing them in, this, that, and the third, they just sit around and gossip and talk and laugh and joke because that was their day. That was their job. So if they ain't got nothing to do on their job with nobody coming in, they just got free time to sit around and lollygag and, you know, tell lies to each other. So they loved it when people ain't come. And they hated it when people did come. And then when people did come that was attractive or good looking, especially if it was a woman that was coming to see a dude, then they felt threatened or they felt obligated to make their visit that much uncomfortable. You know, I've had, I can't even tell you how many problems I had in the visiting room over the years and decades of my ex-wife coming to see me. You know, harassment of her, you know, mistreatment of her, you know, when you can't get in because that's too tight or that's too short or, you know, it just was insane, man. They would find any reason. They could tell my wife she couldn't come in because this was too tight, but then you would look in the visiting room and see somebody else with the exact same thing on. I remember days when my wife came and she had the exact same pants on that someone else might have had in the visiting room, but they told her that she couldn't get in because of the way her pants fit her. So it's crazy, man, and it's a testament to your fortitude too, because that type of stuff would make you just blow and do something stupid, and then next thing you know, you locked up, you got charges, whatever, because the last thing you want to see is someone harassing the people that's taking out the time of their day, the money that they could be making working, and so on and so forth, to come see you only to be harassed. You know what I'm saying? We became immune to the harassment because we expected to be harassed because we knew what our situation was and we knew where we were. But most guys that I know don't even tolerate that when you mess with their people. Even the meekest dudes don't tolerate that because they feel like their people shouldn't be subject to that, which I agree with 100%. But yeah, it goes down though, man. They do that type of stuff on a regular basis, man. And you know, my ex-wife was very beautiful, had a real nice body, so she caught a lot of that hate, you know, and it, you know, rolled back on me. Because when I knew who the officer was, or I knew, you know what I'm saying, who worked at the visiting rooms, then when I would see them, I would automatically have dislike for them. I would automatically feel a certain type of way towards them. And I had to contain that, and I had to keep that on the inside because it wouldn't have benefited me to act out on what I felt. But I always let them know with my look and my, you know, my disposition that yeah, don't try to be cool with me because I know what you're doing up front. But man, it was crazy. And then man, just to even think or to imagine them harassing your mother, that takes it to a whole nother level. You know what I'm saying? Where you ready to, you know, not ever come out because you ain't gonna be playing with my mom. You know what I'm saying? Most definitely. But the wall was my initiation to how things go down in the visiting room, man. I've seen dudes break out in fights over there. I've seen dudes over there eyeballing another dude's woman, you know, actually say things to other dudes' women. You know, and it's just insane, man. And you have no other choice but to straighten it. You know what I'm saying? As I told y'all before, probably one of the first fights I got in was in the wall because of someone saying something to my wife. You know what I'm saying? And I wasn't going for it at all. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. I just got up, went over there and bang, bang, bang. And that's it. You know, you rumbling in there. And now you got beef on the yard, and now you ain't got your visit, and now it just be like that. You know what I'm saying? That's how it go down, but you got to stand up because if you don't stand up, dudes would disrespect you to the point where as to you won't be respected at all on the yard. And if you ain't respected on the yard, then your life is in danger at all times because one person get over on you, one person disrespect you, it open up a floodgate, it becomes a snowball effect. Now everybody feel like you weak. Everybody feel like you soft, you know. And when you talking about that visiting room and you talking about your people on the street, if you're not gonna defend them, then they feel like you have no honor, no, you know, no pride, no nothing, because that's the epitome of disrespect, you know. And dudes would get in that visiting room, man, and they'll see your girl, or you'll get up and go use the bathroom, or just sitting this way and your girl sitting that way. It may be a dude behind you. He may be looking at her and, you know, winking his eye at her, blowing her kisses and stuff like that. Dudes was bold, man. Dudes would write little notes and hide their little notes, fold them up in real small and sneak them in the visiting room and try to, you know, hand it off to your girl. I mean, crazy stuff, man. Stuff that'll get you, you know, a trip to the upper room playing with people's people, you know, and they did that, man. So I seen fights break out in there all the time. I seen dudes, that was the first time I seen dudes, you know, getting visits from homosexuals, you know, and be in there and just be just as comfortable as if they was in there with a woman, you know, sitting back, getting fed food, rubbing on each other, you know, giving each other little pecks and stuff. I used to be like, man, this is like a different world. It's insane, you know, but that's what it is. It's prison, you know, it's prison. And the Wednesday night visits was in what I think, if I remember correctly, it was a yellow room and a blue room. The Wednesday night visits was in a whole nother room. And they also had, on the regular visits, when you was in this visiting room, if you had kids, they would put the kids in the blue room because they had little games and little toys and stuff that they could play with. At least they had that much respect to try to get the kids out of the way of all the foolishness. But they definitely had a lot going on in them visiting rooms, man. A lot going on in them visiting rooms. And it was a crazy, crazy scene, man. So like I said, over the years, time changed. I think I left the wall. I went to Augusta. Yeah, I went to Augusta. And that was way, way out there in the mountains. So, I'm like 4-6 hours away or something like that. So the visits then, were even more crucial, because you're talking about somebody riding 6 hours only to get up there and to be told they can't get in because of their outfit. They can't get in because they ain't on the list, or all types of foolishness used to go on, man. And I think all of that was politics too, because they had involvement with that. It was like economic for them, because they would tell you that your outfit is too tight or your outfit is too short, but you have to change your outfit to come in. So over the years, people learned to, especially people visiting me, learned to bring an extra outfit and put it in the car in case you have to change. So they wouldn't have no reason to deny you for your visit. But for most people, they would tell them, oh, well, that's too tight or that's too short, or the straps on it, you have to cover up your arms. Well, there's a Dollar General right there in the store, and then people had to drive all the way down there, and you'll see people coming in the visiting room with big old sweatpants on that didn't match their outfit because their jeans was too tight and they had to go change or go buy something down there. But they always directed these people to certain stores, which made me feel like they had a partnership. They had we gonna send y'all business and we get some type of percentage or something. It always seemed like that to me. Whether it was true or not, I don't know. But it definitely seemed like it, because that just seemed too convenient for me. You know what I'm saying? When you can't get in, but you can go down here and buy something. They got stuff that, you can wear in here. So it was crazy, man. It was crazy. And then you gotta look at the drug scene. They would use that to justify everything, that they're, checking for drugs. So your people may pop up on certain visiting days and they get out there, and the regular procedure that it takes to come in, now the whole procedure done changed, because they got the whole little TAC team out there. They got the K9 unit out there. Now they want to run dogs all around your people. Now they want to take the dogs to your car sometime, depending upon if they say the dog smells something on you. Now you may have people that come up there that, definitely ain't got no contraband to bring in at all, but they may smoke weed on their own leisure time, or they may do whatever they do, and the dog may smell them and smell something like that, and now your whole visit is thrown awry. Now they telling you your visit ain't gonna be able to come in, they deny, you got to go back to your building. Then they might try to lock you up for investigation. Your people don't consent to strip search, they gonna be banned. They not gonna be able to come up there again. They gonna have to go through some legal procedures to get up there again. So it's just some crazy dynamics that your people had to go through, which is a testament to how much your people love you, man. For real, it's a testament to how much your people love you, to go through what they have to go through, being civilians, being on the street, being not to have broke any laws, but just want to see you so bad that they would subject themselves to all of this type of harassment and foolishness that they have to go through. And you done had the dog have sit down on people and say that they felt like they was dirty and had drugs on them. People had no drugs on them at all. They act like that all these dogs is 100% correct. Like the dog is actually talking like, yeah, they got drugs. They'll say the dogs say they had drugs on. The dog ain't said nothing, man. The dog don't even talk. You know what I'm saying? But this is the foolishness that they'll tell you. Then they'll go want to search people's car. You don't know what people got in their car. You don't know if what they got in their car is their personal items, their personal use, or whatever. As long as they haven't tried to transport anything inside the visiting room, why are you harassing them and why are you invading their privacy? They'll call the state troopers up there. If the people try to leave and had the people pulled over and searched, then it's just chaotic, man. It's just pure chaotic, And my people, man, a lot of my people, they ain't go for it. Even my ex-wife, she used to beef with them. She had came up there to visit me and had been harassed so bad that she had cussed the people out and just turned around and left. Then they want to suspend my visit for 5 months, 6 months, or whatever, because your visitor disrespected the officer, which put you in a fit of rage. It's on and on and on. It never stops. It never stops, man. And they don't have no type of real structure up there. Sometimes people be in line for 2 hours, 3 hours, you know, only to get in the visiting room, and the people would tell them that the capacity is full, so you can't have but an hour visit. You know, you done drove 6 hours, stood in a line for 2 hours, only to be able to get in and don't even be able to stay but 1 hour. What type of foolishness is that? What type of food? Then you tell me that ain't enough to make a man, you know, want to snap, you know, make a man want to rebel, you know, revolt, you know, because y'all are doing foolishness. Y'all had these prisons in place. You should have all of the structure to be able to supply whatever it needs to be done to facilitate these visits, and no matter what it costs. But they would never do it, man. They would always have excuses. They would always make it at your expense, and that would always put your back against the wall to how you was gonna respond, you know. And God forbid if they catch anybody in there with some drugs. Oh my God, when that happened, man, these people act like they are the FBI. They so proud, they running around, they crazy, they, you know, they locking you up, they taking your people, they calling the police, they running around, they high-fiving each other like they done did some super private eye, what's that Joan called? Mission Impossible type stuff. You know, they love that. They love your misery is their pride, is their joy, is their happiness, because they feel like they did something so extraordinary. You know what I'm saying? And like they done caught some kilos or some, you know, it's like they done caught Pablo Escobar or something. Whereas you might have caught somebody with a dime bag of weed. You know, it's just crazy, it's insane, man. And the things that dudes would do to get out of getting caught with drugs will blow your mind. I've seen it all in the visiting room when they know or they done peep somebody getting some, so they waiting on you when you come out. And them dudes know when they come out that they gonna be bumped, but they gonna take that chance because they want that bad. Yeah, they do anything to get out of getting caught with them jokes. I mean, you name it, they gonna do it. I done seen it all. I'm talking about from urinating on they cell to defecating on they cell to passing out to even starting to fight with the people. They gonna run with them police before they get caught with them drugs.
The Banky special.
Yeah.
Pure deliciousness.
Pure deliciousness, man. My name is Banky, man. Everybody calls me Banky. That's the name that I got from my grandmother when I was young. I'm coming out here after 30 years. Yeah, I ain't got nothing, but I'm gonna have something because I'm rich in personality, you know, and I'm rich in love. My family love me, and that's really all that counts.